Hello everyone, and welcome to Readings in English. My channel is dedicated to helping you improve your English skills through captivating storytelling. English is a global language, opening doors to countless opportunities, from travel and higher education to career advancement and cultural exchange. But learning a new language can feel daunting. That's where I come in. We'll explore the beauty and complexity of the English language through compelling narratives, designed to be both engaging and educational. Each story will be carefully crafted to enhance your vocabulary, improve your comprehension, and boost your overall fluency. We'll focus on clear pronunciation and natural sentence structures, making learning fun and accessible. Today, we're embarking on a heartwarming tale of friendship, courage, and the transformative power of kindness. This story, titled A Helping Hand, follows the journey of a shy young boy named Thomas, who learns valuable life lessons through an unexpected encounter with an elderly woman. Join me as we uncover the magic of human connection, the importance of small acts of kindness, and the incredible power of overcoming personal challenges. Let's begin. The crisp autumn air nipped at Thomas's cheeks as he walked home from school. Leaves, a fiery mix of red and gold, crunched under his worn sneakers. The scent of wood smoke mingled with the sweetness of baking bread from Mrs. Gable's bakery, a comforting aroma that always signaled the approach of evening. Thomas, a 10-year-old boy with a mop of brown hair and shy eyes, usually enjoyed this walk. He liked observing the subtle changes in the landscape as the seasons shifted, the way the sunlight slanted differently each day, painting the old houses along Elm Street in hues of amber and ochre. Today, however, a quiet unease settled in his stomach. He'd had a bit of a tussle with Mark at recess, nothing serious, just a playful shove that had ended with a scraped knee and a slightly bruised ego. He wasn't usually one for conflict, preferring the company of books and the quiet solitude of his own company. He wished he could rewind the day, erase the altercation, and savor the peaceful tranquility of the autumn afternoon. He quickened his pace, hoping to reach the familiar comfort of his home. The familiar sight of his house, a charming two-story colonial with a porch swing, brought a slight smile to his lips. But the lingering feeling of unease persisted, a subtle discord in the otherwise harmonious symphony of the autumn afternoon. As he rounded the corner onto Maple Street, Thomas noticed an elderly woman struggling near the small grocery store. She was short, her silver hair neatly coiffed beneath a worn but clean hat. She wore a long, dark coat that seemed to swallow her small frame. Two heavy grocery bags, overflowing with produce and what looked like a loaf of bread, strained in her hands. Her face, etched with the lines of time and perhaps worry, was partially obscured by the brim of her hat, but Thomas could see the beads of sweat on her forehead and the slight tremor in her hands. She stumbled, her feet slipping slightly on the uneven pavement. For a moment, Thomas froze, unsure what to do. He was accustomed to observing life from a distance, a silent spectator in the bustling drama of his small town. He often lost himself in the stories within the pages of his books, worlds far removed from the everyday struggles of his neighbors. But this was different. This wasn't a story in a book. This was real life, unfolding before his eyes. He watched as the woman struggled to regain her balance, her breath coming in short, shallow gasps. The weight of her burdens was evident, not just in the heavy bags, but in the way she moved, her shoulders slumped, her steps hesitant. A wave of empathy washed over him, a feeling so potent it pushed aside his own lingering unease. He knew he had to help. The question was, how? He was just a boy, small and shy, but he couldn't just stand there and watch her fall. Thomas shifted his weight from one foot to the other, his gaze fixed on the struggling woman. He felt a familiar tightness in his chest, the sensation of shyness that often held him captive. He wasn't used to interacting with strangers, preferring the quiet comfort of his books and his own company. He imagined approaching her, offering his assistance, but the words seemed to catch in his throat. What if she refused? What if she thought he was being intrusive? He pictured the scene playing out in his mind, the potential for awkwardness and rejection fueling his hesitation. He knew he should help, but the fear of embarrassment paralyzed him. He watched as the woman took another unsteady step, her face contorted in a grimace of effort. The bags, heavy and unwieldy, threatened to pull her to the ground. This wasn't a scene from one of his books. This was real life, and the consequences of inaction felt far more tangible than the fictional perils he usually encountered. He pictured her falling, the groceries scattering across the pavement. The potential for injury and a wave of guilt washed over him. This wasn't a matter of shyness or awkwardness anymore. It was a matter of simple human decency. He had to act, even if it meant confronting his own discomfort. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for the inevitable awkwardness, and started to walk towards her. His heart pounded in his chest, a frantic drumbeat against the backdrop of the quiet autumn afternoon. With each step, Thomas's resolve grew stronger. The image of the woman struggling, her face etched with pain and exhaustion, propelled him forward. He focused on the task at hand, pushing aside the anxieties that threatened to overwhelm him. He reminded himself that this wasn't about him. It was about helping someone in need. As he drew closer, he noticed details he hadn't seen from a distance: the worn leather of her gloves, the delicate silver chain around her neck, the way her hand clutched the handle of one of the bags, her knuckles white with strain. He felt a surge of empathy, a profound understanding of her predicament, and a determination to alleviate her burden. He reached her side, his breath catching in his throat. He cleared his throat, his voice barely a whisper. "Excuse me, ma'am," he began, his words halting and uncertain. The woman turned, her eyes widening slightly as she saw him. He could see the surprise in her expression, a mixture of apprehension and perhaps gratitude. He held his breath, waiting for her response, his heart pounding a rhythm against his ribs. He offered a simple gesture, extending a hand towards one of the heavy bags. "Can I help you with those?" he asked, his voice slightly stronger now, infused with a newfound confidence. The woman hesitated for a moment, her gaze lingering on his kind eyes, before a gentle smile touched her lips. "Oh, that would be lovely, dear," she said, her voice soft and grateful. The simple act of offering his help had broken through the barrier of shyness, replacing it with a sense of purpose and accomplishment. Mrs. Eleanor, as Thomas learned a few moments later, accepted his offer with a grateful smile. Her name, she told him, was Eleanor, and she lived just a few blocks away. The weight of the bags was indeed considerable. Thomas felt the strain in his own arms as he carefully lifted one. It was filled with various groceries, from a loaf of crusty bread to a small carton of milk and a bunch of vibrant autumnal flowers. As they walked together, a comfortable silence settled between them, punctuated only by the gentle crunch of fallen leaves under their feet. Thomas, surprised by his own ease, found himself chatting about school, his favorite books, and his pet hamster, Pip Mrs. Eleanor listened patiently, occasionally offering a thoughtful comment or a warm smile. He discovered that she was a retired librarian, a lover of classic literature, and a keen gardener. She spoke of her garden with a passion that mirrored his own enthusiasm for books. He learned that she lived alone, her children grown and living far away. A subtle hint of loneliness laced her words, but it was balanced by an undeniable resilience and a quiet dignity. The walk, initially a simple act of kindness, transformed into an unexpected connection, a shared moment of human interaction that transcended the brief exchange of physical assistance. It was a silent acknowledgement of shared humanity, a brief respite from the loneliness that often lurks beneath the surface of daily life. As they approached her house, a charming little cottage with a neatly manicured lawn, Thomas felt a strange sense of fulfillment. He had helped someone in need, but he had also received something in return, a glimpse into the life of a fascinating stranger, and a quiet understanding that even the smallest act of kindness can have profound implications. After helping Mrs. Eleanor inside, her gratitude palpable in her warm smile and heartfelt thank you, Thomas started his walk home. But this time, the autumn air felt different, lighter. The familiar path seemed somehow brighter, the colors more vibrant. The earlier unease that had settled in his stomach was entirely gone, replaced by a quiet contentment. He replayed the encounter in his mind, savoring the details: Mrs. Eleanor's gentle smile, the warmth of her thank you, the shared quiet moments of their walk. He realized that the seemingly simple act of carrying grocery bags had been far more significant than he'd initially imagined. It had been a bridge connecting him to another human being, bridging the gap between his own solitary world and the broader community around him. He thought about Mrs. Eleanor's quiet loneliness, the unspoken longing that seemed to hover beneath the surface of her gracious demeanor. He wondered about her life, her stories, the experiences that had shaped her into the kind and resilient woman he had just met. He realized that helping her wasn't just about carrying groceries. It was about offering a moment of connection, a small act of human kindness in a world that often feels disconnected and impersonal. As he reached his own doorstep, he felt a profound sense of satisfaction. The afternoon had begun with a minor conflict and a lingering sense of unease, but it had ended with an unexpected encounter, a shared moment of human connection, and a newfound understanding of the power of simple acts of kindness. The autumn air, once crisp and slightly chilling, now felt warm and inviting, carrying with it the comforting scent of wood smoke and baking bread, and the quiet satisfaction of a good deed well done. A few days later, a small, neatly written note arrived in Thomas's mailbox. It was from Mrs. Eleanor, inviting him for tea the following afternoon. He felt a surge of excitement mixed with a touch of nervousness. He'd enjoyed his brief encounter with her, but the prospect of visiting her home felt different, more intimate. He spent the morning meticulously choosing which book to bring, a well-worn copy of The Secret Garden, hoping it might spark conversation. He arrived at her cottage promptly at 2 p.m., a little earlier than he intended, his heart beating a slightly faster rhythm. Mrs. Eleanor greeted him at the door with a warm smile, her eyes crinkling at the corners. Her cottage was a delightful mix of old-world charm and modern comfort. The air was filled with the comforting aroma of freshly baked cookies, and the living room was cozy and inviting, filled with books, plants, and soft sunlight. They sat by the window, sipping tea and nibbling on cookies. The conversation flowed easily, starting with a discussion of the secret garden and gradually branching out to other topics: school, hobbies, family. Mrs. Eleanor's stories were captivating, filled with gentle humor and quiet wisdom. She spoke of her travels, her love of gardening, and her passion for reading. There was a warmth and openness to her that put Thomas instantly at ease. He found himself sharing more than he usually would, revealing details of his life and his quiet struggles with shyness. The afternoon passed quickly, filled with laughter and easy conversation. As he prepared to leave, he felt a profound sense of connection, a feeling of belonging he hadn't realized he was missing. Over the next few weeks, Thomas became a frequent visitor to M.R.'s. Eleanor's cottage. Their afternoon tea sessions evolved into a comfortable routine, a refuge from the pressures of school and the occasional anxieties of adolescence. Mrs. Eleanor, in turn, shared more of her life story, revealing details that painted a richer picture of her past. She spoke of her childhood, her dreams, her disappointments, and her triumphs. Her stories were not just tales of events. They were explorations of human experience, filled with both joy and sorrow, laughter and tears. She spoke of her late husband, a kind and gentle man who had shared her love of books and gardening. Their life together, she described, had been filled with simple pleasures and quiet moments of happiness. She spoke of their children, her voice filled with a mixture of pride and sadness. They had grown up and moved away, forging their own lives and pursuing their own dreams. She wasn't complaining. She understood the natural course of life, the inevitable separation that comes with growing up and moving on. But there was a hint of loneliness in her words, a quiet longing for companionship that was both touching and relatable. She also spoke of moments of difficulty, of challenges faced and overcome, of times when her faith and resilience had been tested. These stories weren't simply narratives of events. They were profound lessons on perseverance, resilience, and the importance of human connection. Thomas listened intently, absorbing her wisdom and gaining a deeper understanding of the complexities of human life. He realized that her quiet strength and resilience were not merely qualities to be admired. They were valuable lessons to be learned. Encouraged by Mrs. Eleanor's openness, Thomas began to share more about his own life. He spoke about school, his friends, or rather, the lack thereof, his struggles with shyness, and his passion for reading. He described his quiet life, the comfort he found in books, and the occasional pangs of loneliness that crept in, particularly on quiet evenings. He confessed his anxieties about social situations, his fear of rejection, and his difficulty making genuine connections with his peers. Mrs. Eleanor listened patiently, offering words of encouragement and understanding. She shared her own experiences with shyness as a young girl, emphasizing the importance of self-acceptance and the gradual process of building confidence. She gently challenged his self-deprecating thoughts, reminding him of his kindness, his intelligence, and his quiet strength. He spoke about his family, his parents, both hard-working professionals who, despite their love, often seemed preoccupied with their careers. He described the quiet solitude of his evenings, spent reading or caring for his hamster, Pip. He admitted that while he appreciated their love, he sometimes yearned for a deeper connection, a more shared experience. He described his feelings of being misunderstood, his desire to connect with someone on a deeper level, and the loneliness that sometimes accompanied his quiet existence. Mrs. Eleanor, with her wisdom born from years of experience, recognized the depth of Thomas's unspoken needs. She saw beyond his shyness, recognizing the intelligent, kind, and sensitive young man hidden beneath the surface. She didn't offer simplistic solutions, but instead shared her own experiences, her own moments of loneliness, and her strategies for overcoming them. It was a reciprocal exchange, a sharing of vulnerabilities and a mutual recognition of shared human experiences. One afternoon, while sharing tea and cookies, Thomas confided in Mrs. Eleanor about a secret worry that had been weighing on his mind for months. He had been struggling with a challenging math problem for his upcoming test, a problem that seemed insurmountable. He had tried repeatedly to solve it, but his efforts had been unsuccessful. He felt a sense of frustration and inadequacy, fearing that his inability to solve the problem reflected a lack of intelligence or ability. Mrs. Eleanor, with her characteristic empathy, listened patiently, offering words of encouragement and understanding. She didn't dismiss his struggles, but instead shared her own experiences with academic challenges. She spoke of times when she had struggled with complex concepts, of the perseverance and dedication it had taken to overcome these challenges. She explained that struggling with a difficult problem wasn't a sign of weakness, but rather an opportunity for growth and learning. She emphasized the importance of breaking down complex problems into smaller, more manageable steps and the value of seeking help when needed. She gently guided him through the problem, offering suggestions and encouragement without directly providing the answer. Together, they worked through the problem step by step, unraveling the complexities until they arrived at the solution. The feeling of accomplishment was immense, not only because they had solved the problem, but also because of the shared experience, the mutual support, and the newfound confidence it had instilled in Thomas. It was more than just a math problem. It was a symbol of their growing bond and a testament to the power of human connection and shared perseverance. More importantly, it was a lesson in self-belief and the realization that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome with patience, persistence, and the support of others. Inspired by Mrs. Eleanor's encouragement, Thomas began to explore activities beyond his books. He joined the school's chess club, initially hesitant but gradually finding enjoyment in the strategic challenge and the camaraderie of his fellow players. He discovered a talent for the game, his quiet concentration and strategic thinking proving unexpectedly effective. He surprised himself by winning a few matches, his newfound confidence growing with each victory. He also started volunteering at the local library, assisting Mrs. Gable, the kind librarian who always had a warm smile and a comforting word. He found he enjoyed the quiet rhythm of shelving books, the comforting scent of old paper, and the occasional interaction with fellow book lovers. He discovered a different kind of fulfillment in these activities, a sense of purpose and belonging that went beyond the quiet solace of his own company. He learned to engage with others, to collaborate, and to find joy in shared experiences. He also began to appreciate the value of stepping outside his comfort zone, embracing new challenges, and developing new skills. He realized that his quiet nature wasn't a weakness but a strength, a source of focus and resilience. His shyness didn't disappear entirely, but it no longer held him captive. It was simply a part of who he was, a facet of his personality that didn't define him. His interactions with Mrs. Eleanor had been transformative, not only in terms of building his confidence, but also in broadening his perspective on life and his place within it. As the weeks turned into months, a subtle shift occurred within Thomas. His quiet demeanor remained, but a new confidence shone in his eyes. He still enjoyed his solitary pursuits, but he embraced social interactions with a newfound willingness. His interactions with Mrs. Eleanor continued, their shared tea sessions becoming a cherished ritual, a source of comfort and inspiration. He had become more outgoing at school, engaging in conversations with his classmates, participating in class discussions, and even making a few genuine friends. He discovered that his quiet nature wasn't a barrier to connection, but rather a unique quality that attracted others. His friends appreciated his thoughtful nature, his willingness to listen, and his quiet sense of humor. He learned the importance of communication, not just through words, but also through actions, through gestures, and through a genuine display of empathy and kindness. He continued to volunteer at the library, finding immense satisfaction in helping others, in sharing his love of books, and in contributing to the community. The autumn leaves, once a symbol of quiet contemplation, now represented growth, change, and the blossoming of his own unique personality. He saw the world with new eyes, appreciating the beauty of both solitude and connection. The quiet town, once a backdrop to his solitary existence, had become a vibrant tapestry of relationships, a community he was now an active and engaged member of. He had learned that growth isn't always dramatic. It's often a quiet, gradual process, a subtle shift in perspective that transforms one's understanding of oneself and one's place in the world. And at the heart of this transformation was the unexpected friendship with Mrs. Eleanor, a testament to the power of human connection and the transformative potential of a single act of kindness. Winter arrived, draping the town in a blanket of white. The crisp air held a different kind of magic, a quiet stillness that contrasted with the vibrant hues of autumn. Thomas found a new appreciation for the season, the cozy warmth of his home, and the comforting routine of his life. His friendship with Ms. Eleanor deepened, their afternoon tea sessions becoming even more cherished during the colder months. The fire crackled merrily in the hearth, casting a warm glow on their faces as they shared stories, laughter, and quiet moments of reflection. They discussed winter-themed books, from classic tales of snowy landscapes to heartwarming stories of friendship and resilience. Thomas continued his volunteering at the library, finding a quiet satisfaction in helping others navigate the winter chill, both literally and metaphorically. He helped Mrs. Gable organize the winter reading program, selecting books and creating displays that celebrated the magic of winter. He also continued his involvement in the chess club, finding a sense of camaraderie and friendly competition amidst the winter's quietude. He noticed that his confidence had grown steadily, his interactions with others becoming more natural, more comfortable. He no longer felt the same overwhelming shyness that had once held him captive. Instead, he embraced social situations with a newfound ease, a quiet self-assurance that radiated from within. The winter months, often associated with isolation and loneliness, became a time of connection, growth, and a deepening of his friendships. He realized that the warmth he felt wasn't just from the fire in Mrs. Eleanor's cottage, but also from the warmth of genuine human connection. Spring arrived with a burst of color and energy, mirroring the changes within Thomas. The snow melted, revealing a landscape bursting with new life, mirroring the blossoming of his own confidence and independence. He continued his routine of visiting Ms. Eleanor, their conversations now infused with a shared sense of growth and accomplishment. They discussed his progress at school, his success in chess, and his fulfilling volunteer work at the library. Mrs. Eleanor expressed her pride in his accomplishments, not just for his achievements, but for the quiet strength and resilience he had shown in overcoming his shyness and embracing new experiences. He felt a sense of gratitude for her guidance, her unwavering support, and the unwavering belief she had in his potential. He had learned that true friendship wasn't just about shared activities or common interests. It was about mutual respect, understanding, and a shared journey of growth and self-discovery. He had grown not just in confidence and social skills, but also in self-awareness, recognizing his strengths, his vulnerabilities, and his unique place in the world. He realized that his quiet nature wasn't a weakness but a strength, a source of resilience and focus. He had learned to value both solitude and connection, recognizing the importance of both introspection and interaction in a balanced life. The spring flowers, bursting with vibrant colors, reflected the vibrancy of his own life, a life transformed by a single act of kindness and the enduring power of human connection. He felt a sense of peace and contentment, a quiet satisfaction with who he was and where he was heading. He understood that life was a continuous journey of growth, a process of self-discovery that involved both challenges and triumphs, and he was ready to embrace whatever came next with open arms and a confident heart. Summer arrived, bringing with it the promise of warmth, sunshine, and new adventures. Thomas, now brimming with confidence, approached the season with a sense of anticipation and excitement. His friendship with Mame Ars, Eleanor, remained a cornerstone of his life, their afternoon tea sessions a cherished ritual. They discussed his summer plans, volunteering at a local summer camp for underprivileged children, a decision that reflected his growing sense of social responsibility and his desire to give back to the community. He felt a sense of purpose in this endeavor, a desire to share his newfound confidence and to inspire others to overcome their own challenges. He spent his days at the camp engaging with the children, organizing games, reading stories, and sharing his passion for books. He discovered a talent for working with children, his quiet demeanor proving surprisingly effective in calming anxieties and building trust. He found joy in witnessing their growth, their burgeoning confidence, and their shared laughter. He realized that his experiences with Ms. Eleanor had not only transformed his own life, but had also equipped him with the skills and empathy needed to make a positive impact on the lives of others. He spent his evenings reading, writing in his journal, and reflecting on the transformative power of human connection. He understood that his journey of self-discovery was far from over, but he felt ready to embrace whatever challenges and opportunities lay ahead. He had learned to value both solitude and connection, understanding that a balanced life required both introspection and interaction. Summer, with its promise of warmth and new experiences, reflected the warmth and growth within him. As summer transitioned into autumn, Thomas found himself surrounded by a rich harvest of friendships. His relationship with Mrs. Eleanor remained strong, their bond deepened by shared experiences and mutual respect. He continued his volunteer work at the summer camp, forming close bonds with both the children and the other volunteers. He had forged genuine connections with his chess club teammates, sharing laughter, friendly competition, and a shared passion for the game. He also developed a close friendship with Mrs. Gable, the librarian, their shared love of books and their commitment to community service strengthening their bond. He realized that his initial shyness hadn't disappeared entirely, but it no longer held him captive. He had learned to embrace his quiet nature, recognizing it as a strength rather than a weakness. He understood that genuine connection wasn't about boisterous extroversion, but about mutual respect, empathy, and a shared sense of purpose. He felt a deep sense of gratitude for the people in his life, for their support, their encouragement, and their unwavering belief in him. He understood that life wasn't just about individual achievements, but about the collective power of human connection, the shared experiences that enriched his life and gave it meaning. He looked forward to the future, not with trepidation, but with a quiet confidence, a sense of purpose, and a heart filled with gratitude for the friendships that had blossomed around him. He knew that life would continue to present challenges, but he was ready to face them with resilience, kindness, and a deep appreciation for the power of human connection. He understood that the true harvest of life wasn't just material possessions, but the richness of human relationships, the bonds of friendship that sustained him and gave his life its depth and meaning. And as autumn leaves fell, he knew that the seeds of friendship he had sown would continue to grow and flourish, creating a rich tapestry of connection and belonging. Winter returned, but this year the season felt different. Thomas no longer felt the chill of loneliness. Instead, he felt the warmth of numerous friendships. His relationship with Mrs. Eleanor continued to flourish. Their tea sessions remained a cherished ritual, but their conversations evolved, delving into deeper philosophical discussions, exploring themes of life, loss, and the enduring power of human connection. Thomas, now a confident young man, shared his experiences at the summer camp, his chess club victories, and his growing involvement in community service. Mrs. Eleanor listened attentively, offering words of wisdom and encouragement. She shared stories from her own past, highlighting the importance of perseverance, empathy, and the transformative power of kindness. They spent time reading together, sharing their favorite books and discussing their interpretations. The winter nights were filled with the comforting warmth of the fire, the crackling flames mirroring the warmth of their friendship. Thomas, no longer a shy, introspective boy, confidently navigated the social landscape, valuing both his solitary pursuits and his enriching connections. He understood that a balanced life required both introspection and interaction. This winter, the snow fell softly, blanketing the town in a peaceful hush, a perfect metaphor for the quiet contentment that had settled in Thomas's heart. Spring arrived, bringing with it a sense of renewal and growth. Thomas, now a confident and outgoing young man, embraced the changes with enthusiasm. He continued volunteering at the library and the summer camp, his contributions becoming increasingly valuable. His chess skills honed, he led his team to victory in a regional tournament, demonstrating not only his talent but also his leadership qualities. His friendship with Mrs. Eleanor remained strong, their bond deepened by years of shared experiences and mutual respect. They spent time gardening together, planting seeds of hope and nurturing new growth, mirroring the blossoming of Thomas's own confidence and self-assurance. He continued to cherish his solitary pursuits, finding solace and inspiration in reading and writing. He began to write short stories, inspired by his experiences and his growing understanding of human nature. He learned to balance his introspective nature with his extroverted tendencies, recognizing the value of both solitude and connection. He understood that a fulfilling life required both self-reflection and meaningful interactions with others. He began to see his quiet nature not as a weakness, but as a source of strength, a wellspring of creativity and empathy. This spring, the flowers bloomed vibrantly, reflecting the abundant growth and flourishing friendships in Thomas's life. Summer arrived, bringing with it a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. Thomas reflected on his journey from a shy, introspective boy to a confident, outgoing young man. He had overcome his shyness, built strong friendships, and discovered a sense of purpose. He continued his volunteer work, his contributions becoming increasingly significant. He mentored younger children at the summer camp, sharing his experiences and inspiring them to embrace their unique talents. He led his chess team to another victory, showcasing his leadership skills and his unwavering dedication. His friendship with Ms. Eleanor remained a source of strength and inspiration, their bond as strong as ever. He spent his summer days engaging with others, sharing laughter, building memories, and creating a rich tapestry of relationships. He understood the importance of both introspection and interaction, recognizing that a fulfilling life required a balance between solitude and connection. He had learned to value his quiet nature, recognizing its strength and its capacity for empathy and understanding. He understood that true growth came not from avoiding challenges, but from embracing them, and that genuine connection stemmed from authenticity and vulnerability. This summer, the sun shone brightly, reflecting the warmth and happiness in Thomas's heart, a harvest born from kindness, resilience, and the enduring power of human connection. As summer faded into autumn, Thomas looked back on his transformation with a sense of profound gratitude. He had come a long way from the shy, hesitant boy who had initially helped Mrs. Eleanor with her groceries. His journey was a testament to the power of human connection, the transformative effect of kindness, and the importance of self-belief. He continued to nurture his friendships, cherishing the bonds he had forged. His relationship with Ms. Eleanor remained a source of comfort, wisdom, and inspiration. He continued his volunteer work, finding fulfillment in giving back to his community. He pursued his passion for writing, sharing his stories with others and inspiring them with his unique perspective. He understood that life's journey was not a destination, but a continuous process of growth, learning, and connection. He embraced his quiet nature, recognizing its strength and its capacity for empathy and understanding. He knew that challenges would continue to arise, but he felt confident in his ability to face them with resilience, kindness, and a deep appreciation for the richness of human relationships. As the autumn leaves fell, creating a vibrant tapestry of colors, Thomas reflected on the beauty of his life, a life enriched by the enduring power of human connection and the transformative journey from shyness to self-assuredness. The autumn leaves, falling gently to the ground, symbolize the natural cycle of change and renewal, a cycle he had embraced with grace and gratitude. He knew that the seeds of kindness he had sown would continue to grow, creating a rich harvest of friendships and a life filled with purpose, meaning, and the enduring warmth of human connection.